Hi, this is Sweet June 2010, coming back at you with another good video. I want to talk about, I was reading on Facebook about um, um, Beyonce took her daughter Blue Ivy to the MTV Awards, Music Awards, and they was talking about how um, they, I was reading the blog on Facebook, how they was talking about how people was basically cyber attacking and bullying Blue Ivy and calling her ugly and saying that she looks like her dad and she's ugly, and they apparently got lots of people coming on social media talking about how ugly she is. And I was just, after reading that, I was just appalled. Um, First of all, a few years ago, I mean, the baby is 4 years old. Uh, First, couple years ago, I was reading a lot of stuff how people kept talking about the baby's hair. They kept talking about how the baby's hair. I was reading a lot of stuff like that on Facebook and stuff like that. How they was talking about Blue Ivy's hair shaming the poor baby, and because according to some people, um, her hair didn't look like it was combed and or whatever they was saying about her hair, and they was hair shaming the poor baby, and it was so many people that was talking about that poor baby's hair. It was just ridiculous. I thought her hair was fine. I thought her hair was just fine. I didn't think anything was wrong with her hair. Uh, Her parents, Beyonce and Jay-Z, probably wanted it to grow out. They probably wanted her to wear her hair natural. Didn't probably want to put any kind of perms or anything in it like that. And I thought the baby's hair was fine. I thought it looked okay. Um, but people was always talking about her hair, and there was a big thing about that a couple of years ago, about people just talking about her hair and everything. And now that they didn't got off of her hair, and now they're talking about how she looks like her dad and how she's ugly and all this kind of stuff. And I was reading that, and I was just really appalled. I mean, this is really sad. I mean, this is really sad, um, that we got people in this world, people in this country, that are evil and cold hearted enough to get on social media and talk about a 4-year-old girl's hair. This is a 4-year-old baby, and you're on social media talking about the poor baby's hair, or talking about how ugly this baby is, how she looks like her dad and how she's ugly. That is a horrible thing. It's terrible to come on social media, and you shouldn't be talking about anybody like that. It's not acceptable to come on social media and talk about anybody like that. It's not nice to publicly bash anybody. First of all, it's a form of slander. You know, actually, it's a form of slander. When you come on social media is considered a public medium, and pretty much bash people. That's considered slander. You're slandering this person, and it's a form of cyberbullying. And it's just like Leslie Jones, the actress, the black actress. Poor Leslie Jones. I mean, she has gotten so much. Uh, People have talked about her so bad. Just talked about her so bad. People been calling her gorilla and just calling her ugly and calling her horrible names, and It's just terrible. Now they found out that they hacked into her account, and they seen her pictures, and there's apparently some new pictures she took of herself, and was trying to compare her to a gorilla. It's horrible. It's terrible how I just can't believe that there's people in the world like this. I mean, I can believe it. Then again, you know, it's horrible that people can honestly sit behind a computer and just be so evil. Just how can you just be? Only thing I can come up with is that their self-esteem must be extremely low. They don't feel good about themselves, because if you feel good about yourself, if you have a healthy self-esteem, you don't feel the need to come on social media or anywhere and just sit up there and talk about people like a dog and dog people out and call them ugly and call them names. Because if you have to do that, if you feel like you have to do that, then your self-esteem has got to be low. That's the only explanation that I can come up with it. These people have a very low self-esteem and they don't feel good about themselves. Because anytime you have to come on social media, and this with Blue Ivy, this is a 4-year-old baby. If you got to come on, I mean, Leslie Jones is an adult, but this is a 4-year-old baby. It's bad enough doing it to her, but this is a child. You come on social media and you talk about a child like that, an innocent child. This is an innocent child. You come on social media and you talk about an innocent child like this. You call an innocent child names. This is an innocent child that hasn't done anything to anybody. She's not on social media. I mean, I might be able to understand it a little better if she was a teenager and let's say she had a Twitter account. She was a teenager and she had a Twitter account and she was tweeting and all this kind of stuff. But this poor child is 4 years old. She's a baby. And she's not on Twitter. She's not on Facebook. She's just a baby. And people are coming on social media and bashing this poor baby and calling her name, talking about her hair. And now they laid off her hair. Now they're talking about how ugly she is. And that is not a loving thing to do. That is not a loving thing to do, to come on social media to talk about anybody, and call anybody names, let alone a 4-year-old baby. I'm just appalled. I was reading that and I was like really appalled. I was like, are they seriously? They're coming on you. Well, I don't know about YouTube. God forbid if somebody come on YouTube and do that. I don't know. But on Facebook and Twitter, and you're calling a 4-year-old child names. How low of a person you must be, or how low you must feel about yourself if you feel the need to come on Facebook or Twitter or any other social media and just talk about and bash a 4-year-old baby. How low it to me, you're an evil person for one thing. You're a cold-hearted person for one thing. And your self-esteem is extremely low. You have a very, very low self-esteem if you feel like you have to come on social media and talk about and cyberbully and bash a 4-year-old baby. And anybody that does that, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And they need help. They need Jesus, they need Jehovah, and they need help. Period. You need therapy. You need therapy to figure out why your self-esteem is so low that you feel like you need to come on social media and talk bad and call a 4-year-old child that's innocent, never done nothing to nobody, names. This child is 4 years old. She's not on social media. She's an innocent child. And you mean to tell me you're sitting here talking about an innocent child, calling an innocent child names, calling an innocent child ugly, and talking about her hair and all this kind of stuff? It's crazy. It's just crazy. It's insane. And like I said, the only thing I can come up with, the self-esteem has got to be low. Somebody made the comment on Facebook that people don't like her parents, and that's a good valid point. People are jealous of the parent. I mean, they made the comment that people are jealous of her parents, and that's a good point too. People probably, a lot of people, I imagine a lot of people probably are jealous of Beyonce and Jay-Z because they're successful. Well, all successful people are subject to scrutiny because of who they are. They're in the public eye. They're entertainers. They're in the public eye. They have lots of money. They're millionaires and billionaires, and they have everything going for them. They're beautiful and they have everything going for them, and they're rich. And a lot of people look at those people. A lot of people that don't have the money that these people have, and they don't have the fame that these people have, and they don't have the success that these people have, and then they look at these people and they look at their own life. They look at their own life, look in the mirror at themselves. They don't like what they see, and then on top of that, they look at their own life and they look at these people's lives, and then they make comparisons. They say, well, why should they be successful and got all this money and be beautiful and all this kind of stuff, and look at me, I'm not beautiful. I don't have success. I don't have any money. And then they look at that and they, and they get jealous, and they literally get angry. I think that they literally get angry at the celebrities because they see that the celebrities have all this money and beauty and success, and they seem to have everything going for themselves. And then they look at their own lives and they say, I don't have anything. They have all this and I have nothing. And they look at it and they say, that's not fair. Why should they have it all and I have nothing? And then they actually get angry. I think what it is that they get angry at the celebrities. And when they get angry at the celebrities, they lash out at the celebrities and they talk about the celebrities. And if they talk about the celebrities' children, it's really sad. It's really sad, And then Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians, they really get, oh my God, they get it bad. I mean, they get it even worse, And I think that's what it is, It's because they're rich, they're successful, but I say leave the babies out of it. I say don't leave the babies. The babies are innocent. If you want to be, I don't think it's right to talk about anybody, but I think you should leave the babies out of it. The babies are innocent, and you shouldn't be talking about nobody's babies. You wouldn't want nobody coming on social media saying how you got an ugly baby or whatever. First of all, she's not ugly. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful little girl. There's nothing wrong with her. And, people have no right to come on social media and just talk about this girl like she's just nobody, and this is a baby, and just, to me, you're just a horrible person. You're not a very nice person. You're an evil person if you feel like you got to come on social media and hide behind your computer and spew insults at a 4-year-old child. Why? Because your self-esteem is low. You don't feel good about yourself. You're jealous of her parents because they're successful and you're not. Grow up. Grow up, The Bible says that we shouldn't be covetous. The Bible says that we're not supposed to covet what anybody else has. And the Bible also says that we're not supposed to compare ourselves to other people. You don't compare your life to someone else's life. And, because you don't know what that person had to go through to get to where they're at. You don't know what that person done been through. It's just like, I take myself for a prime example. If I was to become successful today and tomorrow, if I was to become successful for whatever reason, if I was to become successful and I was to become rich today or tomorrow, there would be people bashing me, talking about me like a dog. And then at the end of the day, because they would be jealous of me being successful, why should she have all that and I have nothing? But then at the end of the day, they don't understand all the things that I've been through in my life. I've been struggling for over 20 years. But if I became successful, the only thing that they would see is the success, that I'm successful, and that would be the only thing that they could see, and that's the only thing they would be able to see. So then, them being the only thing they see, they'll be jealous of me, and they'll actually get angry and say, "Well, why is she successful? Why she have all that and I have nothing?" But then not stopping to think, not stopping to realize what it took for me to get. Because if I become successful, I didn't pay my dues. I didn't pay my dues 10, 20 times over, because I've been struggling for many, many, many years. So if I become successful, then it's long overdue for me, because if I get to that place in life, people will not realize what I've been through to get to that point, that it wasn't an easy journey for me. But instead of realizing that, the only thing that they will be focusing on is my success and the fact that I am successful. And then so they get angry, and then they will be, and that's what's happening to Lesie Jones right now. Lesie Jones is around my age. She's in her late 40s, and she said she worked a series of different jobs. She paid her dues. I was watching one of her interviews, and she paid her dues. I mean, old girl paid her dues, and she said that before she became successful on Saturday Night Live and kind of blew up, she worked a series of jobs. She struggled for many, many years. It hasn't been an easy journey for her to get to the place where she's at now. She had to pay her dues, and her dues are paid in full. And where she's at now is well deserved, because she worked hard to get to where she's at. And so for people to sit there and they don't know what her journey was like on the way to her success, the success that she has now, people don't understand her journey, what her journey was before she got to that place. It was a hard road for her. And so now what her success is well deserved, And so people don't have no right to be sitting up here talking about her like she's a dog, and they wouldn't talk about no dog like that. They wouldn't get on social media and talk about a dog like that, unless alone a person. This woman has feelings, and just like you wouldn't want someone coming on social media. Let's say you become those same people that's dogging her out. Let's say they become successful. You wouldn't want people coming on social media. They wouldn't want people coming on social media and calling them all kinds of horrible names and stuff like that. So the Bible says, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. You wouldn't want nobody to do nothing like that to you. So why would you, do something like that to someone else? It's not a loving thing to do. It's evil, and it's mean, and it's cruel. And people should be ashamed of themselves getting on social media and bashing anybody, let alone a 4-year-old baby. They should be ashamed of it. She is a little innocent baby. She ain't never done nothing to nobody. She's never said nothing bad about anybody, because she's a 4-year-old child, for Christ's sake. She's just a child. And people, cyber bullies, coming on social media attacking this poor child and calling her names. First of all, you ain't got no business talking about her parents. Second of all, you have no business talking about this child. She's just a 4-year-old baby. I was just reading about this stuff, and I was just appalled. I had to address it because, first of all, it was her hair. It was talking about the baby's hair. And I had read so much on social media about that. And then now they're talking about the poor baby's, face. Saying, oh, she was like her dad and she's ugly and all this. Horrible. Just horrible. People should be ashamed of themselves. That baby is not ugly. She's beautiful. And she's not ugly. She's just fine. And it's what is that going to do to this poor girl's self-esteem? She grows up and she reads all this stuff about her. And people continue to talk about her like this. And as she gets older, and like most teenagers do, most teenagers nowadays they got to get their little phone and be on Facebook and all that. I don't think there's a teenager out there that doesn't want to be on social media of some sort, especially particularly Facebook. I'm a Facebook junkie myself, so my son's on Facebook, and I don't know of a teen or an adult for that matter that's not on Facebook. Well, I do, but there's not very many. So when she gets to be a teenager, she gonna have her little phone and she gonna be, on Facebook and whatever, and she gonna be looking at and then she's gonna see stuff about herself. How is that supposed to make her feel? That's gonna ruin this baby's self-esteem, and it's not right. It's not a loving thing to do for people to say horrible things about this child. And I just pray that it stops. I just pray that it stops so this child can have a little bit of self-esteem when she grows up. And she doesn't deserve it. She does not deserve that. Leslie Jones don't deserve it. And nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves to be bashed on social media. The Kardashians don't deserve it. Nobody deserves to be bashed on social media. And I say, the Bible says you reap it what you sow. So be careful. Because, we have to be careful what we do, and we got to be careful what we even say. So, you reap what you sow, because the Bible says, whatever you reap, you shall sow. So, whatever you put out there, it's going to come back full circle to you. And you may be subject to the same scrutiny. The Bible says, judge and you will be judged. If you judge others harshly, it's going to come back around to you full circle. So, that's something to think about. And for people that's watching this video, if you're thinking about talking about anybody on social media, think about that now. Think about it. Whatever you put out there, it could come back around to you. Okay, I just had to address this. I'm just appalled by people, just being so mean and evil and cruel. Let me know in the comment section of what you think. More interesting videos coming up. Peace and love. God bless. Sweet June 2010.